A couple things in the markets. We're watching the price of oil the last couple of days. That drumbeat of war with Iran seems to be getting louder and louder. So oil prices have been up. Doug Flynn joins us, head of the closing bell on Wall Street today. Stocks are a little lower. Flynn Zito Capital Management. And the other thing I wanted to mention as we're waiting for the president in Georgia is the trade war. Real briefly here, Doug. The Hill has a headline that Trump touts a decline in the trade deficit despite a meager decrease. The president claimed to have cut the trade deficit by 78%. In a Truth Social post, which came less than 12 hours before the Census Bureau released the official figures, and it was much, much, much smaller than that. So the question is not, necessarily just on the numbers. It's like, here we are, this trade war, helping, hurting, worth it. How do you see it?
Yeah. So the numbers they're quoting to get that number, that 70-something% is from January of 25. When everybody rushed ahead of the tariff increase and ballooned our trade deficit because they bought all the foreign goods. So it was an artificially high number to October. And October was just an arbitrary month, which was really low. So while that is right, by the same token, if I wanted to take it from October to December, I could say that the trade deficit increased by 142%, because that's also a factual statement. But if you look at the whole year, which is really what we should be doing,
yes,
they went down 0.34%. So it went down a little bit. I think the bigger play here is that exports did increase by over 6% and imports did decrease. So that's what they were trying to do, and also reduce the reliance on China. Those imports are down well over 30%. Of course, that shifted to other countries, but in the aggregate, they can quote that number, we can quote another one, and in the whole overall game, it has improved ever so slightly, so I would call that basically not really a move at all. Not really a move at all.
Which, it's not a disaster, not a resounding success. I think both sides would have been a little surprised by some of those things coming in. Real quick, we got to run because we're over time, which is my fault, but just a real quick thought on that in terms of whether it's worth it. Remember, at the beginning, people were saying this is just going to be a disaster for the economy. It's not that either.
Well, I think they're not touting enough the fact that CPI came in at 2.4%. It was 2.7% a month ago. And so tariffs are supposedly a big impact on inflation. If you remove the tariffs, we should have an inflation rate with a 1 in front of it. And so then you get away from that argument about the Fed and whether or not they cut or not. So we're still in the low 2s. We're not the Fed's 2. So it's having a small impact, but not as big as everyone said it was going to.
No, I think that's really good to kind of back of your head stuff when you hear the president speaking in a few minutes about the economy and about inflation. Thank you, Doug. Sorry about the short time today. The closing bell on